I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history. Dr. Martin Luther King is not a black hero, he is an American hero. People need to start to think about the messages that they send in the movies. How are we going to get rid of racism? Stop talking about it. Attacking people with disabilities is the lowest display of power I can think of. In the harshest place on earth, love finds a way. The best way to confront, or deal with, technological innovation is to keep moving technologically. Literacy could be the ladder out of poverty. How do we change the world? One random act of kindness at a time. One of the things you can always depend on. This is one of the truths of the universe. And you heard it first from here. Whatever we decide we want to do is what we do. Let me be the first to tell you, drinking alcohol is the worst thing to do in cold weather. Hot soup is the best because the process of digesting food helps to warm you up. Learning how to be still, to really be still and let life happen, that stillness becomes a radiance. When you have made your choice, it is providence that is your guide, good, bad, or indifferent. Your fate lies in that. I always tell my kids, if you lay down, people will step over you, but if you keep scrambling, if you keep going, someone will always give you a hand. But you gotta keep dancing, you gotta keep your feet moving. You measure yourself by the people who measure themselves by you. The highest power is the human mind, that's where God came from, and my belief in God is my belief in myself. Never let pride be your guiding principle, let your accomplishments speak for you. Don't be different just for difference sake. If you see it differently, function that way. Follow your own muse, always. If you live a life of make-believe, your life isn't worth anything until you do something that does challenge your reality. If you dream, you've got to dream that it's going to happen. Remember that, if you dream, you have to imagine that it will actually happen. Finding joy is probably tantamount to finding yourself and being comfortable in your own skin. Stage is really hard work. You've got to do it every night, not like doing it once and walking away. I am God, so it's easy to play him. They say God is in all things. So if God is in me, then I am in God. Therefore, I am God. God does not exist without me. Yourself, it's the only path which leads to growth. As you grow in this business, you learn how to do more with less. I'm not intimidated by lead roles, I'm better in them. I don't feel pressure, I feel released at times like that. That's what I'm born to do. Still, it can be more effective to accomplish what you need to accomplish with the minimum effort. Watch Anthony Hopkins, he doesn't appear to be doing anything. He is so still that you can't see him working, but you are drawn into his character through his very stillness. Once you've gotten the job, there's nothing to it. If you're an actor, you're an actor. Doing it is not the hard part. The hard part is getting to do it. As long as you feel like a victim, you are one. Fatigue, discomfort, discouragement are merely symptoms of effort. I once heard a wise man say there are no perfect men, only perfect intentions. I do know there are a lot of people who seem to be in my corner. And that's, of course, wonderful. I'm really more interested in the nomination than in the award, because I think the nomination just puts you within a group of outstanding actors. Some people say the most important thing a fighter can have is heart. Show me a fighter who has nothing but heart and I'll show you a man waiting for a beating. If there's magic in boxing, it's the magic of fighting battles beyond endurance, beyond cracked ribs, ruptured kidneys, and detached retinas. It's the magic of risking everything for a dream that nobody sees but you. You criticize without understanding, you seek only to address your own personal feelings, that is selfish thinking. It does not serve the nation. When a magician waves his hand and says, "This is where the magic is happening," the real trick is happening somewhere else. Misdirection. People hear that and say I'm being modest, but I am not a modest person, but I have to be truthful about what I'm doing, and what I'm doing is channeling. The accident was a horrible thing, but that horrible thing made Chris, at the end of his life, Superman. It's a happy irony, if there is such a thing. I'm proud to have known him. You know, the ancient Egyptians had a beautiful belief about death. When their souls got to the entrance to heaven, the guards asked 2 questions. Their answers determined whether they were able to enter or not. Have you found joy in your life? Has your life brought joy to others? If you wake up and the snow is knee-deep outside, you are not filled with rage. It's just something that you've got to cope with. If you're living in a situation, it's the only situation that you know, and you've got to deal with it. The trick to any profession is making it look easy. Don't be afraid of what you want. This is your time. The barriers are down. All you have to do is believe, then you will see everything. If you want to see a miracle, be the miracle. There are things that I would like to do, but I make a big distinction between liking to do something and wanting to do something. If there's something that I want to do, I've done it. If there's something that comes up that I want to do, I will do it. If you think about the very nature of life, I mean, on the very beginning, the development of the first cell divided into 2 cells. The sole purpose of life has been to pass on what was learned. I find I'm so excited, I can barely sit still or hold a thought in my head. I think it's the excitement only a free man can feel, a free man at the start of a long journey whose conclusion is uncertain. I hope I can make it across the border. I hope to see my friend and shake his hand. Every man has his breaking point. The day I am afraid to do that is the day I am no longer it to lead. Rugby is a very rough game, almost as rough as politics. If someone prays for patience, you think God gives them patience. Or does He give them the opportunity to be patient? If someone prayed for the family to be closer, do you think God zaps them with warm fuzzy feelings, or does He give them opportunities to love each other? We humans are more concerned with having than with being. Discipline is not the enemy of enthusiasm. A single mom who's working 2 jobs and still finds time to take her kid to soccer practice, that's a miracle. The Lord said, "Do whatever you have to do." And He didn't say, "Joe, be polite." Apathy is the solution. It's easier to steal what you want than it is to earn it. It's easier to beat a child than it is to raise it. Hell, love costs. It takes effort and work. Who do you think I am? Forgiveness liberates the soul, it removes fear. That is why it is such a powerful weapon. My only child was murdered. Did you hear about it? What you probably didn't hear, and what I hope you never have to deal with, Miss Gennaro, is what that feels like. What I have to deal with. Little beat big when little is smart, first with the head, then with the heart.